All right, so this is MLG. I was shooting a video on the train track right there, and the I just bumped onto another tent with another hobo, not the same tent. So now there's two hobo, and I just don't want to wake them up. So they go there to find peace. So I just got out of the truck and I'm sitting on a bench. So I'm gonna do it from here. This is a video response to Drudenfusz. He asked me in the comment section when the first video I did a couple of weeks ago. I was asking topics, and so he asked me, how to facilitate introducing people to the hobby. It was not phrasing that way, but it was meant to mean that. I think it's like, how do you make it more accessible, kind of thing. So I thought about that because I'm not a guy who give advice much, because I don't have much experience. I don't really like to do technique and stuff like that. But about initiating people to the hobby or introducing people to the hobby, I've been doing it a lot, especially recently. I've been introducing a lot of people, and recently, and this summer and last year. And so I had some ideas about that. So first thing, I would go with the holy trinity of RPG, in the sense of I would respect those three principles, which are talk to the players and find the right game, and don't be a dick. And so therefore I would go by those first. First thing first, I would let's say you already have interested people and interested neophytes. So let's say you already have those, and so what you do is you sit down and you don't talk about system and you don't talk about games, because they don't know. They just don't know. They never played role-playing games, so they don't know. So what you do is you talk about genre and tone and style. For example, what do you wanna play? Do you wanna play sci-fi, cowboy and Indians, ninja, pirates, survival, zombie, horror, fantasy? What do you want? Now they give you a genre. Then you go, okay, what tone do you want? Do you want to cry around the table, or you want a beer and pretzel? We laugh all the time and we make a TV show and movie reference all the time. What tone do you want? Now that you have tone and you have genre established as expectations, it's all about finding the expectations. Now once you have that, I would what I do is I think about character and stuff like that. So what kind of character would you like to play? What kind of story do you want? What kind of narrative arc do you want? And then I'm not into system yet. Then establishing a social contract. All right, so we need a commitment. Let's play every other day and we'll see. No, like, okay, so how long can you commit? I always do every 2 weeks. I don't do every week. It's too tiresome. It comes back around too fast. 7 days is really fast, and eventually everyone gets burned out very quick, and some people don't show up and their lives get in the way and all that. So it's really hard to commit every week, especially with beginners. So what I would do is 2 weeks, not every month, not every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, to keep the momentum going. I think it's a really nice number. Same day, all the time, same hour, all the time, so they can program it with their work, and they can program it in their calendar and their schedule, because people who never played role-playing game, they don't understand the kind of commitment it is. It's a commitment. It's a real, we got to go there. It's like playing a sport. you know, or learning a musical instrument. You know, it's this kind of stuff you got to do often. You got to do it regularly. All right. So now that you establish a calendar, establish a story, character, genre, tone, the commitment is like, okay, do you think we can do 2 months? 2 months would mean it's over in 4 sessions. So you know, what I do usually is I go with the seasons, and I go with the holidays. So I'm like, okay, so we play until Christmas. That would give us maybe the time to do 5 sessions. So we commit for 5 sessions, then we take a break over Christmas, and we'll see after the holidays because don't try to make it fit in the holiday, or make it fit around Halloween, or make it fit around, you know, Easter time or something like that, because, you know, life is gonna get in the way, culture is gonna get in the way. So you find a spot like that in the calendar where you know, okay, I'll be able to fit 3 sessions there. I'm gonna be able to fit 5 sessions there. Not much than 5. I'm not gonna go beyond 5, because going beyond, they're beginners. You don't know, they don't know if they're gonna like it. They don't even know if they're gonna be able to commit yet. So 3 or 5, not just one. One is a one shot, and one shot is a different kind of animal. Talking about, if you want to really, you can play a one shot with, you know, with pre-gens, you know, in a cafe for 2 hours. It's not the same kind of thing. Now you talk about RPG and the hobby, what this hobby is about. So 3 to 5 sessions. Now that you have your social contract established, you have the character, the story, the genre, the tone, the calendar, and all that, you're okay. Now from there, you choose a system. Now people think sometimes that you need a rule light system to introduce people. I don't agree. I've been introducing people with Burning Wheel, which is one of the most modular, rule heavy game I've encountered. And I've been introducing, and there's like, the character sheet is 4 pages, and it's cumbersome, and there's all kind of shit you need to think about all the time, right? And so, and it works very well. So you don't need, you know, it might be an okay advice. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a good advice to try with rule light first, or maybe a generic system first. But I don't think you have to. I think you better find the right game. And sometimes the right game, like in my case, was Burning Wheel, because I was very, very good at it at the time, because I was playing it all the time, so I knew all the rules by heart. Character creation was easy, you know, solving problem around the table was easy. Don't need to look in the book, kind of thing. You see, those are the kind of stuff that are important when you are introducing people. You don't want to learn a game as a GM at the same time. You know that you're GMing a game for neophytes, for new people in the hobby, because they're gonna ask all kind of questions. They're gonna do all kind of bad form, you know, behavior around the table, which you're gonna have to kind of like bring the game back to where it has to be, you know. So those kind of stuff. So now you find the right game. Now, depending on the genre, depending on the tone, depending on the commitment, depending on the kind of story, and depending on the kind of character they want to play, now you can narrow down the game you need. Then when you find the game, what I usually do to introduce is I make the character for them, because I don't wanna discourage them. You know, sometimes making a character can be long and complicated, and it's like homework. You know, don't give them the book and read the chapter on character creation and do it and print the sheet, and you facilitate things. So you ask them the character they want, and you give them that. So you make the best to create a generic version of that, and then they put a name on it, they put a look on it, an aesthetic on it. They can even put, you know, do the backstory or whatever they need to do if they want to do it. And then they have the character they wanted, right? Even if they did not do it, that makes that you save a lot of time to everyone, and you facilitate the introduction to the hobby. And then so when they come for the first game, the first session, they have the character already. Now you can explain it, how it goes, introduce the rules, and then start playing right away. That is the good way to introduce. And if they like it, no worry, man. They will. You know it probably, because you've been around the hobby for a long time, but if they like it, the first thing they will try to do is to create their own. So they will buy the book and they will get the sheet and they will create their own character, because that's one of the most satisfying part of this hobby, right? So yeah, so that those are my advice, right? So starting with the social contract, the game is the last part of it. Choosing the right game is the last part of it for me. Schedule, commitment, signing the contract, and all that is really the most important thing to introduce people to the hobby, and finishing an arc, right? This is why I think like 3 to 5 sessions is perfect, because not more, right? Not less, because but by finishing an arc, there is a satisfaction that comes to it, and it's like, oh, I feel like I've played in a movie or a book or a TV show or something like that, and it's like because, or I played, I have a story like that, and they kind of also have the time to get attached somehow to the character, which is one of the biggest part of the hobby. So yeah, so those would be my my advice to you, Drudenfusz, about that, and this is what I've been doing, and it worked. It worked for me very well. It's been a success when I've been doing that. So yeah, it's more work, for on the GM for sure, because you have to facilitate. Obviously, like I said, you need to know the game very well as well, because you don't want to be learning, like I said, you don't want to be learning the game at the same time, because if you're looking at the rules all the time and if they feel that you don't know what you're doing, they might gonna lose interest and stuff like that. And yeah, so yeah, and don't be a dick. So I talked about talking to the players and find the right game. Now, for the don't be a dick principle in the Holy Trinity, that I would just say, like, be patient, because new people. So the GM is not being a dick, right? Because the new people will be on their phone sometimes, and you don't necessarily want to say, okay, everybody, close your phone, leave it in your bag, don't talk, stay in character. You don't want to do that. When you introducing people, you want to let them see if they like it. Let's say you have four people around the table, and you have three of them that are engaged, and one is always on his phone. Whenever the other people talk, whenever he's not engaged and this character is not there, or whenever people roll dice, he's on the phone. He doesn't like it. He doesn't. He might not know yet, but you do, right? And it's part of what it is, introducing people. You're not gonna get 100% people liking it, and also some people, they might be on their phone or whatever what they do, but they are liking it as well, and they are in it. They are participating because they are so addicted to the device that they can do two things at the same time. I know it's controversial what I'm saying. Some people will say, oh, no phone, no this, no that. It's 21st century. People bring their phone everywhere. It's on the table. And if you want to do if you're the kind of people who like to police other people, leave that in your bag. I don't want that around the table and all that. It's all good. It's all fine. But when you introduce people, I would say, be patient. Don't impose your stuff too hard on them. Make it easygoing kind of thing. So yeah. Those are the stuff that I would recommend. So thanks for the question and for the topic, and have a nice day.